morning, my dear students. How are you? I hope that you are all fine and safe. Today, 8th class biological science, one of the important chapter, story of microorganisms. Story of microorganisms. Part 2. Story of microorganisms. Part 2. Harmful microorganisms. Harmful microorganisms. We know that microorganisms are present everywhere, like air, water, soil, plants, animal body, as well as human body. We know that some of the microorganisms are harmful microorganisms, dreadful microorganisms, useful microorganisms. The disease causing microorganisms. Disease causing microorganisms. Disease causing microorganisms. Some of the microorganisms entered living organisms. It causes diseases, infections. The disease causing microorganisms is known as pathogens. Pathogens. What is meant by pathogens? The disease causing microorganisms is known as pathogens. How pathogens entered in our body? How pathogens are infected in our body? Pathogens or disease causing microorganisms entered in our body through air, water, contaminated food, water, infected instruments like syringes, needles, etc. Physical touch, insects, and some of the animals. These are the modes of transmission of diseases, modes of transmission of infectious disease causing organisms. Pathogens entered in our body through air, through water, through contaminated food materials and water, through infected instruments like syringes, needles, surgical instruments, etc. Through insects, through animals. All these are the modes of transmission of diseases. Okay, right. You might have observed one of the person of your family member infected or suffering cough or cold. That person releasing of sneeze or cough, the disease causing organisms released, and they can be transmitted to another persons. transmitted to another person. Remaining persons of the family also affected disease, affected infection. So this type of diseases, communicable diseases, or contagious diseases, communicable or contagious diseases. What is meant by communicable disease or contagious disease? The disease is transmitted from infected person to normal person. The disease is transmitted from infected person to normal healthy person. This is known as communicable or contagious disease. These diseases or disease causing organisms is transmitted through air, water, infected instruments like syringes, needles, etc. Physical touch, insects, animals, and contaminated food materials or water. The communicable diseases are transmitted through air, water, droplets of saliva, through infected instruments like syringes, needles, etc., through physical touch. Okay, these are the modes of transmission of diseases, communicable diseases. What are the examples of communicable diseases? Swine flu, typhoid, malaria, chicken pox, smallpox, etc. These are the examples of communicable or contagious diseases. Swine flu, typhoid, malaria, chicken pox, smallpox, HIV, AIDS. This is also communicable or contagious disease. HIV, AIDS. What is the full form of HIV, AIDS? What is the full form of HIV, AIDS? Human immunodeficiency virus. Human immunodeficiency virus. Full form of HIV. What is the full form of AIDS? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This is the full form of AIDS. HIV is caused by AIDS is caused by HIV virus. AIDS is caused by HIV virus. This disease is transmitted through physical contact, sexual contact This is sexually transmitted disease. Sexually transmitted disease. Sexually transmitted disease. Through sexual transmitted disease, HIV virus can be infected in our body through sexual contact, through blood transfusion, through infected instruments like syringes, needles and surgical instruments, through pregnant mother to her child. Through pregnant mother to her child. These are the modes of transmission of disease of HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS is a very dangerous and harmful disease, dreadful disease. Are you understood? Right. This is communicable or contagious diseases. Examples of communicable diseases like swine flu, chickenpox, smallpox, typhoid, malaria, HIV/AIDS, present throughout the world, pandemic situation, very pandemic situation, that is COVID-19. COVID-19. Coronavirus. Coronavirus. It is also very dangerous and harmful virus. COVID-19 is a disease. Corona is a virus. This is also, COVID-19 is also communicable or contagious disease. From infected person to normal healthy person through physical touch, through droplets of saliva, through physical touch, through droplets of saliva, using infected things, etc. COVID-19 is a disease. It is a communicable or contagious disease. The disease is transmitted from infected person to normal healthy person. This disease is caused by coronavirus. It is very dangerous, harmful virus. There is no vaccination for this disease, only prevention. Prevention is better than cure. One of the greatest proverb. Prevention is better than cure. So my dear students, present situation very pandemic situation. So everyone maintain physical distance, social distance, compulsory wear mask. Frequently wash your hands with soap. Our surroundings should be clean and hygiene conditions. These are the preventive measures. These are the preventive measures are to be taken to control, to prevention of COVID-19 coronavirus. Everyone maintain social distance, physical distance, wear mask, frequently wash your hands with soap. Our surroundings should be clean and hygienic condition. These are the precautions are to be taken to prevent COVID-19 and coronavirus. This is one of the dreadful and harmful communicable disease. Are you understood? Right. Next. Vectors. What is vectors? Some insects and animals carries the disease causing organisms. carries disease causing organisms. Carries disease causing organisms. Some insects and animals carries the disease causing organisms. Some insects and animals can act as a vectors. These organisms carries the disease causing organisms like viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoan, parasite, etc. from one organism to another organisms, from one person to another persons. So, some of the animals and insects can act as vectors. Vectors means carrying agents, carrying the disease causing organisms from one organism to another organism. Some insects like mosquitoes and houseflies can act as a vectors. We know that. Female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito carries the disease causing organism Plasmodium malarial parasite. Female Anopheles mosquito carries the disease causing organism, that is Plasmodium malarial parasite. We know that the mosquito can bite and sucks the blood, releasing of malarial parasite Plasmodium. It causes malaria. Malaria is a very dangerous and harmful disease. Malarial fever. Malaria disease is caused by mosquito bite. Female Anopheles mosquito can act as a vector. It carries disease causing microorganism. For example, female Anopheles mosquito bites the human body and sucks the blood, releasing of malarial parasite Plasmodium. It causes malaria. So, female Anopheles mosquito can act as vectors. My dear students, malaria is a harmful and dreadful disease, and this is communicable disease or contagious disease. The disease is transmitted from infected person to normal healthy person through mosquito bite. So, everyone should maintain our surroundings should be clean and hygienic condition. Generally or basically, mosquito breeders develops in stagnant water, drainages, old tires, old pots. So, compulsory these type of stagnant water, drainage water, old tires, old pots you can avoid far away, throw far away. Basically, mosquito breeders and mosquito population can develop in stagnant water. You can control mosquito population, mosquito breeders. We can apply